Hey family, it's African on Sarnco back at you with another video. So today I am talking about the voting patterns of Black people and why Black people are now uh, refocusing their vote on more important issues other than someone just being a Democrat. As we saw with the last presidential election, there were um, there were a small number of Black people that did not vote Democrat. Some voted Republican, and some chose not to vote. Okay, and that is a person's choice, because as citizens, we should be expecting something from the people that we put in office, and often we're not the benefactors of what should be, dispensed equally. And so I want to read a little small article from a young man by the name of Timothy Finley. And it says, and it's in a article called The Courier. The Democratic Party doesn't respect Black Americans, and he's leaving it behind. And he says, for too long, Black Americans have been the backbone of the Democratic Party without being its priority, because we know that they prioritize immigration, they prioritize other communities, they prioritize financial resources going to other communities, and they prioritize corporate. And on both sides, they prioritize corporate. For much of my life, I identified as a Democrat, like many Black Americans. I believed that the party represented our best hope for equity and justice. But after years of empty promises, um, tokenism, and slow progress, I've concluded that loyalty to the party is no longer tenable. The Democratic Party consistently relies on Black voters. Remember that, family. They always say how we are their backbone. Okay, we're the backbone of the Democratic Party, yet they don't give us anything for that. It says this is not an endorsement on the Republican Party either. Their war on diversity and equality, along with the policies and rhetoric that actively harm Black communities, make them an unacceptable alternative. But leaving the Democratic Party isn't about switching sides. It's about rejecting a system that fails to respect or prioritize blacks. Do you hear that, family? In other words, we have these parties, both of them, that neither one of them work to benefit the black community. And yet, black people show up year after year, and you have these buck dancing people who will tell you with a heartbeat and all of their chest that it's better to vote for one evil rather than the other evil. And my question to them, if both parties are evil, what sense does it make to vote for either one, especially family, if they're not offering us anything? We go out there and vote for the Democratic Party in record numbers, but our communities are disparaged with no resources, no one that is obviously and identifiably that is supporting the black community. A lot of the politicians, the black politicians that are immigrants, black immigrants, they're not for the black situation in the black communities, and that's what they should be for. And they get mad at black people for asking anything from the Democratic Party. And I'm not on the Republican Party because black people don't vote as a whole or are not the backbone for the Republican Party. They are the backbone for the Democratic Party. And this is why we expect them to do something specifically for us. When it came to the George Floyd bill, and they just pussyfoot around it and couldn't get themselves to bring it forward. Look, it has shown us. And that was something major. You know what I'm saying? That was something that called right then for their attention to be on our community, but it wasn't. It wasn't then and it isn't now. And so we run out there and keep voting for the same thing as the young people say, spinning your wheels. That's what we're doing. We're spinning our wheels on the Democrats. And we gotta think better. We have to act better. We have to engage better. And we have to know that if there's a party that's not going to specifically do something for black people, then we should specifically exclude them from our voting habits, okay? I'm just saying, I mean, some people just don't want to not vote. bec- I don't know why, okay? But they just don't want to not vote. They just feel like they have to vote for someone because they say our ancestors died for us to vote. No, dear, our ancestors died for us to have equality and justice in this country, which we have not gotten yet. And neither have they, because reparations have not been paid to our ancestors that is owed, a debt that is owed to us, okay? The descendants of slaves, okay? And this is why putting black immigrants, this is why you need to go out and you need to do your research when you are thinking about voting for a candidate. You need to go to their web page. You need to see what they've done. You need to see where they've come from. You need to see, are they in line with the black struggle and the black community? Because even though a lot of these people have the same skin, they're not our people. They're not. Because you're not our people if we don't have one cause. And black Americans are calling for reparations, which we deserve. And any other black people or anyone else of any other community that is not in support of that, when other communities have gotten reparations, okay, and they have the Native Americans, the also the Japanese because of the in camps that they had them in. So no, we want someone who is going to fight on our behalf. And until we do, I say I wouldn't vote. I'm not voting for anyone that's not doing anything for my community, and I'm not just going to assist them to get in office. And that's just the way I feel about it. So, family, I thank you so much for joining me. Let's chop it up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Watch this small clip, family, of Dr. Claude Anderson and listen for yourselves. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, love, and blessings. Take care, family. Bye bye.
Studies and as a historical uh, teacher and educator and a forensic historian, I've never seen one instance where a politician, black, white, pink, yellow, green, or polka dot, has ever said, make a commitment that I would, based on quid pro quo, I would do this for black folk.